You know that moment when you look at your grandparents and think they seem so fragile, so aware that time is slipping away? And what if I told you that they might actually hold the key to the happiness that you and I are searching for everywhere? 2 months ago, I decided to do a completely crazy experiment. I lived for 30 days as if I were 90 years old and had very little time left to live. And what happened will completely change the way you see your life. So, why did I do this? Basically, I was stuck in this grind of work, sleep, repeat that was driving me crazy. You know that thing where you wake up, check your phone, stress out even before you've had your coffee, run around everywhere, and at night you realize your day has passed without you even noticing? I felt like I was living my life on autopilot. And one day I came across this study that talked about the biggest regrets of people at the end of their lives. It literally blew my mind. These people didn't regret missing a promotion or not buying the latest iPhone. No, they regretted much deeper things. And that's when I had this weird idea. What if I tried to live like them, with this acute awareness that time is precious? So, practically, how do you live as if you're 90 years old? At first, I admit I was a bit lost. So I started by asking myself this question every morning. If it were my last week of life, what would I do today? And the first thing that struck me was that I probably wouldn't spend 2 hours scrolling through Instagram. So the first rule I set for myself was no social media in the morning. And you know what? Right there, I had reclaimed 2 hours of my day. On the second day, I thought, well, if I really were 90 years old, what would matter most to me? And of course, the answer was simple: the people I love. So I called my mom, not to tell her something important, just to check in on her. And she was so surprised that she first thought I had a problem. It made me realize something crazy. We only call our loved ones when we have an issue or need something. But when do we call them just to say we're thinking of them? Never. The first week, I won't lie to you, it was weird. I felt like I was playing a role, but little by little, something changed. I started noticing things I had never seen before. Like, when you step outside in the morning and there's this golden light filtering through the trees? Before, I would rush headlong to the subway. Now I would stop for 2 minutes to look, and it was breathtakingly beautiful. But the craziest thing happened at work. Usually I was the guy who stressed about everything, who worked overtime to impress the boss, who took everything to heart. But with this 90-year-old mindset, I thought, will I remember this urgent email or this super important meeting in 20 years? And the answer was no. So I stopped stressing over trivial matters. I did my job, of course, but without that constant pressure I used to put on myself. Wait, it gets even crazier. Around the second week, I started doing things I had always put off. You know, that mental list we all have. Learn guitar, take that trip, tell that person I appreciate them, try that new restaurant. Well, I started checking things off, and not because I had more time, but because I had changed my priorities. The hardest part of all this was dealing with others. My friends told me I had become weird. Like when we went out, instead of complaining about my day or gossiping about others, I asked real questions. How are you really doing? What makes you happy right now? And at first it threw them off. But little by little, our conversations became much deeper and more authentic. But I also had my moments of doubt. Around day 15, I thought maybe I was becoming too serious, too philosophical. Was it normal to think so much about death and the passage of time? I almost stopped the experiment, and then I realized that was the trap. We are so afraid to think about death that we forget to live. In the third week, I had a revelation. I was eating an apple just mindlessly, and I realized I was truly savoring it. Before, I would eat while looking at my phone, thinking about my to-do list on autopilot. Now I was really tasting it, feeling the texture, taking my time. And that's when I understood. Living as if you're 90 years old isn't about being obsessed with death. It's about being present in every moment. Towards the end of the month, my girlfriend said something that struck me. She said, before you were always rushing towards something, as if happiness was somewhere ahead of you. Now it seems like you found it exactly where you are, and that was exactly it. So now I'm going to share with you the most concrete tips I've gathered from this experience, things you can apply starting today. First tip, every morning ask yourself this question. If it were my last week, what would I do differently today? And do at least one of those things. It could be calling someone, taking a different route to work, or just taking 5 minutes to look around you. Second tip, stop procrastinating. You know that thing you've wanted to do for months but keep putting off? Schedule it for this week, not next month, not when you have time. This week. Third tip, change your conversations. Instead of asking how someone is, ask what made them happy this week. You'll see, people will look at you strangely at first, but then they'll thank you. Fourth tip, disconnect in the morning. No phone for the first hour of your day. Use that time to be present, to reflect, to look around you. Fifth tip, write a letter to someone you appreciate. Not a WhatsApp message, a real letter. Tell them why that person matters to you. You can thank me later for the effect it will have. Sixth tip, slow down during your meals. Eat without screens, without distractions. Really taste what you're eating. It's crazy how we've forgotten to do that. Seventh tip, forgive. Yourself, others, that situation that has been ruining your life for months. A 90-year-old person will tell you that holding on to resentment is like swallowing poison and hoping the other person will die. The crazy thing is that after these 30 days, I didn't stop. This way of living became natural. I stress less, appreciate more, and I'm more present. And paradoxically, I've become more productive. Not because I work more, but because I focus on what really matters. So there you go. If I could change my perspective on life in 30 days, you can too. Start small, choose one or two of these tips, and try them for a week. And let me know in the comments which one you'll try first. Give a thumbs up if this experience inspires you, subscribe if you want more content like this, and I'll see you next week for another experience that will surprise you even more. See you soon.